Hare Krishna. So, welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam Katha after a long time. So, Kartik month has started, and even though I'm traveling, because of the travel, we couldn't have the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha for almost 2 months. So, we left off on chapter 82 of Canto 10. And I wanted to complete that today. So we'll do a quick review and try to finish or complete that chapter. And let's see how it goes. So we will start with Mangalacharan prayers. Okay. What am I sharing? Am I sharing anything? No. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूप साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. Then we will recite the invocation verses for Srimad Bhagavatam. Our deepest gratitude to Sri Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. So during this yatra trip, I'm not sure if I shared with you, we went to Shukratal. Shukratal is the exact place where Shukadeva Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So this tree that you see here, so it's this speaking of Srimad Bhagavatam happened 5,000 years ago almost. And this tree that you see here, there was a tree there. And it was supposed to be the same tree that you see here in the picture. So it's another picture. So this tree. So again, I don't know if it's that actual tree and whether it lives for 5,000 years, but at least it's considered to be the same one. And from there, we could see the Ganga flowing. So Shukratal is on the banks of the Ganges or the Ganga River. So I felt very blessed on visiting Shukratal. Then this is the picture of the retelling of Srimad Bhagavatam by Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami was present as an audience. So this is the previous picture. So you see Shukadeva Goswami narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And one of these sages sitting here in this picture is Suta Goswami. And then later on, he speaks the same Srimad Bhagavatam to another set of sages. These sages came to know that Suta Goswami was present when Srimad Bhagavatam was being spoken. So when they saw him, they caught him saying, "You can't leave without telling us Srimad Bhagavatam." So that is the retelling of Srimad Bhagavatam by Sri Suta Goswami. And that is how we received the Srimad Bhagavatam. This version of the Srimad Bhagavatam is what we have in our hands. So, Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam from chapter 4 onwards, or in fact, chapter 1 itself has this description of Suta Goswami being asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. This retelling occurred at Naimisharanya, which is quite away from Shukratal. And this is where the sages, so this whole thing is present in Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1. Okay, we will start today's discussion now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraet
Tato Jai Mudirayet.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttamah Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha.
Nandagopakumaraya
Nanda Gopakumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Okay, thank you. All right. So now we will go to Canto 10, chapter number 82. So we go to our library, we go to Srimad Bhagavatam, we go to Canto 10, and we go to chapter 82.
Is it?
Okay. And we go to advanced view, and we will go to verse number 40 or 39 actually.
49.
So, yeah, we did one class from 39 to 47, but that class got corrupted or did not get recorded and got truncated in the middle. So I'll just do a little quicker version of these verses if you all don't mind. 39 to 47 or 48. So anyway, since it has been a long time, the chapter 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam is a very significant chapter. Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto is all about Lord Krishna, and it is largely divided into two parts known as Vraj Leela and Dwarka Leela, half. So canto 10 has 90 chapters, and almost half of the canto, which is almost up to chapter 40, up to chapter 50 approximately, is called Vraj Leela. And after that, Krishna leaves Vraja. He leaves Vṛndāvana much earlier around chapter 42, where Akrurji comes and takes away Lord Krishna to Mathura or 40 itself. And we can see quickly. Let me open this and I can just give a quick, sorry, I'm just going with the flow that is coming to my mind. So as you can see here, this is all Vraj Leela, Rasa dance, killing of Keshi and Vyoma, and Akrura's arrival. So chapter 40 is prayers of Akrura. And then he takes away Lord Krishna in chapter 40 and 41. Lord Krishna reaches Mathura. So he leaves Vṛndāvana. And this is a very, very significant and sad incident for the residents of Vṛndāvana. And all throughout the remaining chapters in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not mentioned that Lord Krishna comes back to Vṛndāvana ever. In other Puranas, he comes back. But here in all these chapters, he does not come back. But in chapter 82, a meeting, or Lord Krishna is able to meet the residents of Vṛndāvana in Kurukshetra. So there is a solar eclipse that happens in Kurukshetra, and it is considered a holy place. And everyone comes to Kurukshetra, including Lord Krishna and including the residents of Vṛndāvana. So the meeting happens. They are able to see each other. They are able to meet each other and spend some time with each other in Kurukshetra, not in Vṛndāvana, but in a different place, Kurukshetra. By the way, in this trip, in our yatra, we also went to Kurukshetra. And we also went to the place, the meeting place. Maybe I can show some pictures if possible. Then I can show. So, yeah, let me see towards the end. If you remind me, I can try to pull up some pictures and show of that actual place of meeting in Kurukshetra of Lord Krishna with the residents of Vṛndāvana. And this particular place within Kurukshetra was discovered by Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. So, and he established a Gaudiya Math center over there as well. So, that is the place of the meeting. So, in this chapter 82 now, it's a very emotional chapter. As you can imagine, this meeting occurs after many decades. So Lord Krishna leaves Vṛndāvana when he was approximately the age of 10. And that is the last time the residents of Vṛndāvana, especially the Gopis, Nanda Maharaj goes to Mathura along with Lord Krishna. But after a few days, he comes back. After Kamsa is killed in Mathura, Nanda Maharaj and the men, basically, they come back. But the Gopis saw Krishna off when he was leaving for Mathura. They don't see him again till Kurukshetra. Many, many years passed. And you can imagine there was such a sweet and loving relationship between Krishna and all the residents of Vṛndāvana, especially the Gopis, and how much separation they tolerated. Now, there are many, many discussions we can have on this topic. It's a very deep topic, but the love of the Gopis was enhanced in this separation between them, and the love between Krishna and the love of Krishna for the Gopis also was enhanced in this separation. Sorry, someone saying something? Okay, if there is any question, you can raise your hand and we can discuss at that time. You don't have to wait till the end. Okay. So, and now after so many years, Lord Krishna is meeting his most beloved devotees, which are the Gopis. But there are many other versions from other Puranas, etc., which say that Krishna really never left Vṛndāvana. Krishna is Bhagavan, and he, you can think of it like he cloned himself. And one copy of, or one Krishna, again, copy or anything, these words don't do justice, remained in Vṛndāvana and one went out. That is one version, and there are other versions as well. But at least if we go by the plain vanilla, straightforward description given in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the basis of all other descriptions of Lord Krishna, then he left Vṛndāvana, and there was this huge period of separation between Krishna and his devotees of Vṛndāvana. And but they never, it was only the love and the feelings for each other only grew deeper. There was no resentment. There was absolutely no anger or anything like that between them. The love simply grew deeper and deeper and deeper. Now you will see elements of anger or elements of disappointment, but they are only external. So this is a very deep topic, and this is essentially the most important topic of the entire 10th canto. So I cannot do justice, and I am not even capable of doing it, even if there was time, of this topic. But this is such a sweet topic, and the more we think about it, the more we contemplate on it, that itself is very beneficial, because the whole point is to immerse ourselves, absorb ourselves in this thinking. So that is what we should do, and I invite all of you to do the same. A very necessary way to absorb ourselves is through the commentaries of previous acharyas. Unfortunately, Srila Prabhupada didn't write commentaries on these verses because he left his body when he was writing commentaries to chapter 13 of the 10th canto. He was going in sequence, and chapter 13 of 10th canto is the last one where he personally wrote the commentaries. Then his disciples, who are also very learned, completed the commentaries or wrote the commentaries on the remaining chapters of canto 10 and then canto 11 and 12. So 10.82, the commentaries that we have are available by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But we are referring to, and in our discussion here, and I will summarize those and share with you. Okay. So for most of these verses, we'll just go with the English translations in interest of time, and I will share what is going on and some points from the previous Acharya's commentaries. The commentaries being referred to are primarily two Acharyas have written very deep commentaries. Sri Jiva Goswami, his commentary is known as Vaishnava Toshani or Laghu Vaishnava Toshani. That's the full name. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, his commentary is called Sarartha Darshini. These are the two main ones where a lot of their realizations and explanations are mentioned. The basis for both of these commentaries is a shorter commentary by Sridhar Swami, and that is known as Bhavarth Deepika. So that is the basis, but those are his commentary is much shorter, and Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur give a lot more expanded version. Okay. So what is going on in this chapter is that in Kurukshetra, everyone has arrived because there is a solar eclipse that is occurring. And Kurukshetra is considered a very holy place because Parshuram, Lord Parshuram, had created 5 lakes and bathed in those lakes because he had killed so many Kshatriyas. So ultimately, he's the Supreme Lord, but to show to the other people that he wanted to atone for his killing action, even though that killing was justified because the Kshatriyas had become very corrupt, like today, the political class is known as Kshatriyas, and nobody can say that they are very dharmic or pure. So he eliminated all of them, but to atone for that action, he came to Kurukshetra and bathed in these lakes. So it is, from that standpoint, it is significant, and everybody during the solar eclipse came to bathe in those lakes. Now, Vrajavasis heard that Lord Krishna is going to come there. So they immediately packed up all their stuff and they went to Kurukshetra as well to see Lord Krishna. They were not concerned about the eclipse or anything. They they have only one concern, which is to see Lord Krishna. So they reached Kurukshetra as well. And the initial part of the chapter till verse number 38, which is up to this point, what I'm showing on the screen, describes the arrival of all these people, so many kings and of various places, and especially the arrival of Lord Sri Krishna into Kurukshetra is being described. And the arrival of the Vrajavasis, the Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, the Gopis, they also arrive on their bullock carts. They don't have chariots and so many servants and all that. They are modest, simple people. So they arrive on their bullock carts. And they bring a lot of butter and ghee and sweets because they know they will be seeing Krishna. So they make all those things and bring that for Sri Krishna. So that has been described. And then what we are going to discuss today is the meeting of Sri Krishna with the Gopis. Another significant meeting occurred just before this one with Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj of Krishna and Balarāma. So both Krishna and Balarāma come here and they meet Mother Yashoda. So Mother Yashoda is so happy on seeing them. And that part we discussed in one of the classes, and that recording is posted. So now we will go to verse number 39 onwards and see the meeting of Lord Krishna with the Gopis. So Shukadeva Goswami is beginning to describe this meeting. So maybe we can have some devotees read the translations. So if you would like, you can do that. So I see Shalu Mataji. All right, Shamlila Mataji, you can,
Okay.
one of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Dev Goswami said, while gazing at their beloved Krishna, the young gopis used to condemn the creator of their eyelids, which would momentarily block their vision of him. Now seeing Krishna again after such a long separation, with their eyes they took him into their hearts, and there they embraced him to their full satisfaction. In this way they became totally absorbed in ecstatic meditation on him, although those who constantly practice mystic yoga find such absorption difficult to achieve. Thanks.
Thank you, Mataji. So so if you see, let's go to the verse. So what is happening here is that two things are being mentioned, one very sweet and one philosophical. The philosophical thing is total absorption in Sri Krishna is very difficult, even for those yogis who try to meditate on Krishna. But the gopis have meditated on Krishna, not meditated as in a cave, but meditating means always thinking of Krishna. There is no other thought that enters their mind ever. So they have meditated so much and so strongly and so intensely, not just the duration, but the intensity of the duration of that during that time is so strong that as soon as they saw Krishna, their meditation was considered much deeper than the meditation of the yogis. So that is one point, the depth of the meditation. And the second thing is that they were seeing Sri Krishna and they were condemning or the creator of the eyelids, because in that moment when the eyelids blink, they are not able to see Krishna. And they are not willing to sacrifice even that one moment of blink. So you can see how much desperate or how much intensely they want to see Krishna. So let us go into the verse and see some important or some points. So first thing is, so this verse reads like Sri Shuka Uvacha Gopyascha Krishna Mapulabhya Chirad Bhishtam. So this is Vasanta Tilakam, same as Brahma Samhita meter. So Chirad Abhishtam. So they are seeing Upalabhya. They have seen Krishna. Upalabh, in Hindi there is a word Uplabdh. Uplabdh Karana means to obtain. So they have obtained or they have seen Krishna Chirad after a long time. Chirad. Abhishtam, Krishna is their Ishta or Abhishta. Their principal object of desire is known as Ishta. Ishtadev, we say, is our, he's the center of one's life is known as Ishta. So Krishna, who is their Ishta, they are seeing him, Gopyas cha Krishnam. So the gopis are seeing Krishna, who is their Abhishta, after a Chirad, after a very long time. So that is what is going on. Yat prekshane drishishu pakshma kritam shapanti. And they are shapanti. If you see the word shapanti here, shap dena, means shap diya. Shapanti. So they are cursing the creator of their eyelids, the Kritam, the one who made Krita, the eyelids. Eyelids are known as Drishishu Pakshma. So in front of the eyes there is a curtain that is known as the eyelids. So they are giving shrap to the creator, the Kritam, the creator of the eyelids. So please try to understand this, that it's not just poetic. After the someone whom you love, it's not even someone whom you love so much. It means that gives a sense that there are others you love. Krishna is the only one they loved, and so intensely we don't even have a imagination or understanding of the depth of the love. Way more than any human can love any other human. A mother can love their child in this material world. Their love was way deeper, and they have not seen Krishna for so many years. Now they are getting to see him for such a short duration of time. So you can imagine somebody whom you have lost, whom you will never meet, or meeting after a long, long time, and you have only 1 hour or half an hour with them. And you want to pack all that lost time and the loss that you will feel in the future as well. All that lost time, you want to pack it in that small period of 1 hour, half an hour, etc. Then how much anger could be there on this maker of the eyelids? You don't want to sacrifice even that little moment of time. So that is the mood that is being shown here. Now it has been said later that Krishna stayed in Kurukshetra for several days. So this meeting is not limited to half an hour or 1 hour. One can understand that they spent a few days' time with each other anywhere. And then Drigbhir Hridri Kritamalam Parirabhya Sarva. So Drigbhir, through their eyes, Hridi Kritam. So Hridi Kritam, they took Krishna through the eyes into their heart. And there they embraced Krishna. Parirabhya. Parirabhya means to embrace Krishna. All of the gopis, Sarva. Stadbhavama purapi nitya yujam durapam. And then they attained the highest state of happiness in that embrace of Krishna within their hearts. So, they attained this bhavam, which is nitya yujam durapam. Durapam means durlabh. And nitya yujam, those yogis who are constantly engaged in meditating on Krishna, it's very durlabh or durapam, very difficult to attain even for them. That bhav, tad bhavam, that deep bhav they were able to instantly obtain for Sri Krishna. So that is the that's what is going on here. And let me just quickly look at my notes and see if there's any other point to be made. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I think I covered all of these points. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. Shamlila Mataji, kindly read this translation since you had
Hare
raised your...
Krishna Prabhuji. The Supreme Lord approached the gopis in a secluded place as they stood in their ecstatic trance. After embracing each of them and inquiring about their well being, he laughed and spoke as follows.
So the thing is, there are multiple explanations. So what is going on? Now Lord Krishna will begin to speak something in the next verse onwards. So Lord Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. So he knows what is in everyone's heart, including the heart of the gopis. And he can see the deep bhava that was just we discussed, tad bhavam, that extremely, extremely deep bhava he could sense in the gopis, and the atmosphere was very heavy. And so one of the explanation is that Lord Krishna is trying to lighten the mood because it's so emotionally charged and emotionally heavy moment. And there are other explanations as well, and we will see some of those, that Lord Krishna in some sense is feeling guilty for not visiting Vṛndāvana for such a long time. At least in the 10th canto, after leaving Vṛndāvana in chapter 40, he never comes back, or there is no mention in canto 10 of his coming back. So he leaves and he's feeling extremely guilty. So he's trying to hide his guilt. And by lightening up the atmosphere, by changing, as you say, kind of, change the topic. So you change the topic of discussion and move it away from the one which makes you feel guilty or makes you makes you shows you in a guilty way. And we will see also that Lord Krishna cracks some jokes or tries to ask, we'll see those verses. So but he's trying to lighten the mood for these various reasons as given by the acharyas. So it is showing different aspects that Lord Krishna is trying to lighten the mood, or he's trying to cover his guilt. He's not accepting his fault, why he couldn't visit Vrindavan, even though he could have, and all these things. And he will try to explain. So let's see them. Yeah. So before that, Lord Krishna, it is mentioned here that Ashlishya anamayam prishtva. Prishtva means inquire. To prishtva, to ask. Prashna means question. So prishtva means to ask or inquire about their well-being. So he embraced them, Ashlishyam, and he asked the gopis about their well-being. So basically Lord Krishna had a conversation with them, with each of the gopis. So a long time was spent first in the discussion, and then we see the next verse, what Lord Krishna says. So we can see here the word also prahasan. So there is the word prahasan idam abravit. Abravit means began to say, but in a prahasan, as a laughing way. So he's lightening the mood. So there is that a direct indication that there is some kind of lightening of the mood that is occurring. And let us see how he lightens the mood. Okay. So 41. So Lord Krishna begins to say, okay, Makarand Prabhu, can you read, please?
Hare Krishna. Lord Krishna said, "My dear girlfriends, do you still remember me? It was for my relatives' sake that I stayed away so long, intent on destroying my enemies."
So Acharyas give an explanation that Lord Krishna is trying to kind of, obviously, it is very obvious that the gopis remembered Krishna. They never forgot him. If anybody forgot the other, it is Krishna, because he's the one who is away. He could have easily come to Vṛndāvana. And he is the one asking the gopis, do you remember me? So again, like kind of, change the topic or, um, uh, shift the blame. So that is the game, sort of. That's the way Krishna is lightening the mood. And immediately later, he begins to say that why he could not visit them so far is because he was destroying the enemies, paksha kshapana chetasaha. So, Shatru, you can see here, Gatams, Chiratiyanya Shatru. So you see the word Shatru here. So Shatru Paksha Kshapana. So Kshapana means to destroy. So I was trying to destroy my enemies, the Shatrus, which is true. There were so many enemies. Even Kamsa was not the last one. Jarasandh, who was the father-in-law of Kamsa, had connections with lot of other demons, lot of other demoniac kings, and so many battles occurred between Krishna Balram and Jarasandh. So Krishna was busy in eliminating or fighting with all those demons, and that is one of the reasons Krishna is giving, that why he could not visit Vrindavan for so long. Now we all understand from our basic understanding that it is not that Krishna was 100% of the time he was fighting a battle. There were downtimes as well. Jarasandh would get defeated. 17 times the battle happened between Jarasandh and Krishna. And each time he would get defeated, go back, build up his army, and attack again. So during that downtime, Krishna could have visited Vrindavan, but he didn't. Everybody knows that, but no, Krishna is not talking about that. He is just talking about those times when he was busy fighting. So again, an excuse, and it's kind of very obvious. Shri Jiva Goswami mentions other things in accusation of Krishna. He had all the time to marry the 16,000 queens and enjoy with them. All those other pastimes that occurred in Dwarka, which are not related to the battles, they are also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So where did Krishna get the time to do all those things? He could have visited Vrindavan at least once in the meantime. So why he didn't visit? So Krishna is guilty. He is definitely guilty of not doing that. And he knew very well that the Vrajavasis are suffering in separation of Sri Krishna. So in the next few verses now, Krishna very expertly tries to give some philosophical understanding. Now he knows that the separation has occurred. The gopis have suffered so much in separation of him. So he is giving a explanation. So can someone else would like to read this translation quickly?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Do you, Hare Krishna, do you
Yes,
perhaps
please go
think
ahead.
I'm ungrateful and thus told me in contempt? After all, it is the Supreme Lord who brings living beings together and then separates them. Hare Krishna.
So he is now trying to give some other explanation, that, or some other consolation, or some other sense to the gopis, that, so here he is saying that if you think that I am guilty, then please don't think in that way. And ultimately it is the Supreme Lord, or if you think I am, there is the very nice word here, akritagya. So this hyphen is here, but this is one single word, akritagya, and avishankaya. So avishankaya means akritagya and avishankaya. Are you looking at me with shanka? Shanka means doubt, that what I am saying, is it correct or not? So are you doubting what I am saying? And are you thinking that I am akritagya? Kritagya means one who is grateful, and akritagya means kritagna, or um, ungrateful. So Krishna is acknowledging that, in a sense, that he has behaved in a akritagya or ungrateful way. Ungrateful in the sense of not reciprocating with the love of the gopis. So he's saying, are you thinking I am like that? He is like that, and he's just saying that, and then he is saying, giving another. Now first he gave a material explanation, I was busy fighting the enemies. Now he gives a philosophical thing, that nunam bhutani bhagavan yunakti viyunakti cha. So yunakti means to unite, and viyunakti means to separate. So Bhagavan is the one who decides when to unite and when to separate people. Now, everybody knows fully well, including the gopis know, that he himself is Bhagavan. So there is a dual meaning here. The straightforward meaning is, oh, the Lord separates and the Lord unites. What can I do? And the dual meaning is that, yes, I am responsible for when I came and met you, or when I was with you, and when I was not, because I am Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan. So he is, in a sense, accepting the blame, or accepting the responsibility, that he is the one responsible for when he would visit and when he would not. So, and it is not, we say that, oh, the gopis don't know that he is Bhagavan. That's not the right way to say it. They fully know, but they put it in the back of their mind, or they put it out of their mind, or they put it on the side. Their main interaction with Krishna is not because he is Bhagavan, and it is not with the feeling of him being Bhagavan. That plays zero role. In that sense, they don't know that he is Bhagavan. But if you ask the gopis, who is this person whom you love? Is he the Supreme Lord? They will say, yes, for you, he is the Supreme Lord. They have that sense that he is the Supreme Lord of the world, of the universe, of all creation. But they have no interest to that aspect of this person. So that is the dichotomy, or that's the mood of the gopis. And that also should be ultimately become the mood of the Gaudiya Vaishnava devotees. We should not have attachment to Krishna because he is Bhagavan. We should just develop attachment for the person Krishna. Tomorrow, if it was revealed that he is not Bhagavan, our attachment should not decrease at all. In fact, it should increase. Chalo, one burden reduced. All his Bhagavan aspects should, now he doesn't have to do it. Now we can fully be with that person who is no longer Bhagwan. So they feel happy. One should feel happier on knowing that he is not Bhagwan. And, now they can, fully be with him, fully enjoy. So that Bhagwan aspect should play zero role, completely zero role in the devotee's mind or in his relationship with Krishna. So that's the mood of a Gaudiya Vaishnava devotee, and that is what Sri Rupa Goswami tries to stress again and again in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the Raganuga Bhakti portion, that Raganuga Bhakti is all about connecting with Sri Krishna completely aside from the fact that he is God. But it's not like they're unaware. It's not like they don't even know. Like in movies, sometimes you see, that the wife of a CIA agent doesn't even know that he's a CIA agent. They think he works in some, as a clerk. And one day they realize, oh, you are a CIA spy. Not like that. They know that he is God, but that's not present in front of them in their mind at ever. Okay. 43. So again, Lord Krishna, we'll go through these verses a little bit quickly. And as you can see, there is no purport here to these ones. So let us see. Somebody else can read kindly. Or if not, then one of you can read.
I can go.
Who-
Hare Krishna.
Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Just as the wind brings together masses of clouds, blades of grass, wisps of cotton, and particles of dust, only to scatter them all again, so the Creator deals with his created beings in the same way. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So again, the same kind of tune or same direction Lord Krishna is taking, that the Creator brings people together, separates them. So he's kind of making it a very casual thing that he did not visit his most beloved devotees for so many decades. Now, decades in the sense, as you can imagine, at least 30, 40 years have passed. But this is before the Mahabharat battle that this meeting is occurring. So, but still a significant amount of time has passed. Many decades have passed. And just saying, oh, the Creator brings people together and separates them is a very casual and a very chalant way to kind of a very irresponsible way to say it, basically. And Krishna is doing that, and in some sense one can imagine the gopis are getting mad at Krishna, and in some sense they are thinking that this fellow is a gone case. Even when he was in Vṛndāvana, he was he would arrive late to meetings with the gopis. He would do all sorts of naughty things with the gopis, and they knew that he's a naughty person, rascal person, basically. In gopis mind, Krishna is like gone case. And again, after so many years, one would imagine that one would improve. Another thought here is that the gopis think that this fellow will never improve. He is the same old guy, but that's the guy they love. So in some sense, they are happy that he has not changed. He is the same guy who will always come late, this time super late, not few hours, but few decades, and still come and give lame excuses. So they are being reminded of all those things, how Krishna gives lame excuses after arriving late. And this is a massive late arrival, massive in the order of decades, and still he has not changed. He is still giving all these lame excuses why he is late. So that is the sweetness that one can relish in this discussion. Then in the next verse, 44, little bit change of tune from Krishna's side occurs. Can someone read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Rendering
Yes.
devotional service to me qualifies any living being for eternal life. But by
Hare
your
Krishna.
good fortune,
Rendering devotional service to me qualifies any living being for eternal life. But by your good fortune, you have developed a special loving attitude towards me, by which you have obtained me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Sri Murari Prabhu was already reading. I think your internet connection was not good. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Sri Murari Prabhu, can you kindly read again? We can read it.
sure,
You
sure, Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
bro. Yes, bro.
Rendering devotional service to me qualifies any living being for eternal life. But by your good fortune, you have developed a special loving attitude toward, by which you have obtained me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Krishna Murari Prabhu, you're saying something?
No, I thought you said me to read it, so I was reading the translation.
Oh,
I
no, not.
misheard it.
There is another Prabhuji by the name Sri Murari Prabhu.
Okay. My bad.
He was reading already, and then Renuka Mataji thought that nobody is reading, so she read, maybe because of her connection. And then I went back to Sri Murari Prabhu, and you thought your name, Krishna
Okay.
Murari Prabhu. Yeah, so similar names. Okay. You can read the next one if you are able to. Krishna Murari Prabhu. Okay. So yeah, so here Lord Krishna is confirming that bhakti, if you see the Sanskrit here, Lord Krishna is saying, Mayir bhakti hi bhutanam amritatvaya kalpate. So is amritatvaya means one that gives amrita or the eternal living, which is basically moksha. Mai bhakti hi bhutanam. My bhakti, he is very important because it means is the only way to get that highest moksha. And then he says, Drishtaya yad asin mad sneho bhavati nam mad apanaha. So by mad sneho, by my sneha, by your deep love for me, mad sneho, you have obtained that highest love for me, highest or that moksha that is available through my bhakti. So he's saying, he's now acknowledging the gopis that your deep love for me is basically the highest. There is nobody else who can match your love for me. A very sweet point mentioned by the acharyas, and let me see here. Yeah, I think Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, I think my notes are not very clean, mentions here that it is not that the gopis attained Krishna. Okay. Of course, here the direct meaning is that by their bhakti, the gopis attained Krishna. But another meaning here is that the gopis are so high, they are even higher than Krishna, and he is saying that by your bhakti, that means the gopis bhakti, you have caused me to attain you. Okay. I have attained the gopis. It's not that the gopis have attained Krishna. It is Krishna who has attained the gopis. That's how much love he is seeing in the gopis. And this is not something just poetic. If you remember Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 6 characteristics of bhakti. And the last one, anybody remembers what it is called? The last characteristic?
Krishna Akarshini.
Krishna Akarshini.
Yes. Sri Krishna Akarshini, which means that bhakti which attracts Krishna himself. So Krishna gets attracted to the devotees, and that is the highest stage of bhakti known as prema bhakti. So that is the other meaning here, that by your bhakti, I have become attracted to you, not the other way around. So these are just some of the sweet realizations. The 6 characteristics of bhakti, what are they? Anybody remembers the verse?
Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha, Lagutakrit, Sudurlabha, Sri Krishna Akarshini ke pehle wala, I don't remember the 5th one.
Sandranand Visheshatma.
Sandranand, yeah.
So, Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha, Laguta, Krit, Moksha, Laguta. What is that? Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha, Laguta, Krit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda, Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akarshini Chasa. These are the 6 characteristics of bhakti in increasing order. At the sadhan bhakti stage, the first 2 occur, which is Kleshagni and Shubhada. All auspicious things happen and all misery is removed, Kleshagni. At the Bhava Bhakti stage, next 2, which is Moksha Lagutakrit, that one realizes that even moksha is not as sweet as bhakti. And Sudurlabha, but that bhakti, one realizes, is not, this Bhava Bhakti is not as easily obtained. And at the final stage, Prema Bhakti stage, is Sandrananda Visheshatma and Sri Krishna Akarshini. Sandrananda Visheshatma means a very, very intense and a thick version of love for Sri Krishna occurs. And finally, Krishna gets attracted to the devotees, to such a devotee. So Krishna is desperately looking for such devotees. So that is the state that is what is being mentioned, or that's not the direct plain meaning, but acharyas are giving the meaning that Krishna gets attracted to his devotees. Okay, 45.
Prabhuji? Prabhuji, sorry, I have a question about that. Can I please ask?
Yes.
So it's kind of probably like a silly question, but I will still ask. So Uddhav ji, when he came, he started giving all like the gyan to gopis, and he realized it's kind of pointless to talk to them about it, and he realized his own folly. So must Sri Krishna not be knowing that? And do you think that he said all this again just to sort of annoy the gopis, because that was that was the informal sort of relationship between them, where he thought he could cut jokes to, like you said, be the person who has not changed? Or like, what do you think his motivation was behind trying to give them this gyan when he probably knows that they're not really interested in it?
Right. So all of them, what do I think? Again, who am I to think? But anyway, everything that you said applies. He has not changed. He is still the same rascal. That is one. Another important point which you did not mention is that exactly there is nothing else to say. There is nothing to say. This is what Krishna is saying is the highest knowledge. All the Vedas, all the Upanishads, this is the highest knowledge in the Vedas, isn't it? What is being said right now. And even this is falling flat on its face in this situation to give any kind of explanation to the gopis. So the point is, there is nothing in the material world, in the material sense, that can be said. If you remember the last verse in the Gopi Geet, or in the Rasa dance, Lord Krishna says, I have nothing that I can give you. There is absolutely nothing that I can give you in reciprocation for your love. So basically, in some sense, so yes, you are absolutely right. This gyan, which Uddhavji tried to give, and he was severely, he was kind of, shown the place, the right place, how useless this gyan is. Lord Krishna is fully aware. And still, if this is all he has to say, shows that there are no other words in the material world that can express or express reciprocation or equal or reciprocation to the gopis. So that could be one more thing, but all the other things that you mentioned are are valid too. And there is no one answer. That is the beauty. There are multiple answers, and we'll never know what is the reality. When you will attain your spiritual identity, then you can go and ask Krishna what is the real answer. Maybe still you won't get the one answer. There is no one answer. We are used to one answers. We really kind of have been programmed in the material world to have one answer. Even in physics, right, in quantum mechanics, there is no one answer. We are learning slowly that we need to live with multiple realities, right? In quantum computers, the qubits, they have both states, 0 and 1, simultaneously. How can, it's such a complex thing. We at our level just cannot imagine. Like just simple thing, you can be at one place at one time. Bhagwan can be at multiple places at the same time. Same thing. We just cannot, we feel so uneasy about it, and many people just say, this is all bogus. But they will happily use a quantum computer when it is built, which is based on this principle of superimposition. One reality is superimposed on top of another reality. They will happily use not supercomputers, quantum computers, which will be the supercomputers of those days, in the future. But still, they will never be able to be okay with this concept of multiple realities. That is what is the Bhagavatam is there. All over the Bhagavatam, all over the scriptures, it is there. Bhagavan can be at multiple places at the same time. The concept of Paramatma, he's there in everyone's heart. How can Paramatma be in everyone's heart? If he's in my heart, then he cannot be in another one's heart. How can Krishna simultaneously be with 16,000 queens? If he's with one queen, the other 15,999 will be, feel separation. It's not the case.
Right.
Anyway,
that also kind of reminds me, Prabhuji, like when Narad Muni was in Dwarka to witness this, he witnessed Sri Krishna with different queens doing different activities at different times of the day at the same time. Like
Yes.
in one palace, he was doing like Sandhya, in the other one, he was like doing afternoon duties literally at the same time. So I think it brings back to the point that you were saying, that it's sort of mind-blowing in that way, that we can't.
And you can imagine, it's not only mind-blowing for us, we can see that it was mind-blowing for Narad Muni. How much mind-blowing it would be for us if it was mind-blowing for him. And his mind-blowing is at a whole new level than ours.
Right.
So
Yeah.
his mind was blown. If we are able to see that, our mind would, I don't even know if there's a word, it would get blown a million times over.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So yeah, this is the sweetness of Lord Krishna. Okay, next, let us see. Krishna Murari Prabhu, are you
Yes.
able to
Dear ladies, I am the beginning and end of all created beings and exist both within and without them. Just as the elements, ether, water, earth, and fire are the beginning and end of all material objects and exist both within and without them.
Wonderful, thank you. So again, to this verse, number 45 and 46 are more philosophical. So the same philosophical discussion is continuing. So we will move forward and go to the next one. 46. Somebody else? Surya Prabhu, maybe you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In this way, all created things reside within the basic elements of creation, while the spirit souls pervade the creation, remaining in their own true identity. You should see both of these, the material creation and the self, as manifest within me, the imperishable supreme truth. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. So, all this Lord Krishna is speaking, and it is not having any much effect on the gopis. So now it's almost time to conclude the chapter. So we'll go to the next one. And Sri Shukadeva Goswami then concludes the what Lord Krishna was saying. So maybe we can read this one. Makrand Prabhu, can you?
Sukadev Swami said, having thus been instructed by Krishna in spiritual matters, the gopis were freed of all tinges of false ego because of their incessant meditation upon him. And with their deepening absorption in him, they came to understand him fully.
Very nice. Thank you. So our acharyas mention a few things. So it is that, so this adhyatma, so Sri Shuka Uvacha, adhyatma shikshaya gopya evam krishnena shikshitaha. So this adhyatma shiksha was given by Lord Krishna to the gopis, which was kind of useless. That's what we discussed. Even Uddhavji tried to give and all. So all this doesn't make sense to the gopis. But still, he gave that. And the gopis, gopya evam krishnena shikshitaha. And they were taught. They accepted that teaching, whatever Lord Krishna gave of this adhyatma shiksha, of this spiritual knowledge. And they were absorbed, tad anusmarana, and they were completely absorbed in this knowledge that they were receiving, but more in Krishna, they were completely absorbed. And dhvasta jiva koshas tam adhyagan, that their jiva kosha became dhvasta. Their jiva kosha means their entire material existence became destroyed. So our acharyas comment that these gopis are the nitya siddha devotees. They never had, even though they were in material world, they never had material bodies. So this dhvasta jiva koshas is in that sense not applicable to the gopis. And here is the point where Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that this is a incorrect way to say that the material body of the gopis got destroyed. And here he comments that if Krishna is thinking like this, it is showing to everyone that Krishna will never change. Krishna also knows that the gopis do not have material bodies. But if even he thinks that by my gyan, this adhyatma shiksha, their material body will get destroyed, he is completely mistaken. And he's not mistaken. He knows because he's Bhagwan. Therefore, the point is he will never change. It is just his silliness or his, he's just a rascal person. He knows who is a rascal, one who knows the reality but says something else. So he will just never change. He is such a, trickster. So he's just gone case. This is the place where Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur kind of takes the side of the gopis and gives a beating to Krishna. Okay. Now comes the last verse spoken by the gopis. And even in this last verse, the last line is very significant. Okay, maybe Shamlila Mataji, you can read. You there?
Sorry, I was reading on mute, Prabhuji. The gopis spoke thus, Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower. Your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts. although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs.
So these are the only words spoken by the gopis in this whole chapter. And this is what they speak. So this verse also is in Vasant Tilakam as the first verse of this narration of this meeting between gopis and Lord Krishna. So first they say Ahushchate Nalinanabha Padara Vindam, that your navel is like a lotus flower. And then Yogeshwarai Hridhi Vichintyam Agadha Bodhai, and you are Vichintyam, you are meditated. Vichinta, Chinta means to Chintan Karna, to meditate. You are the Yogeshwara, or the great mystic yogis. The Yogeshwara here is being referred to the mystic yogis. They meditate in their hearts. Hridi Vichintya. Sorry. Yogeshwarer Hridi Vichintyam Agadha Bodhaihi. So these Agadha Bodhais, these deep meditators, they meditate on the Supreme Lord within their heart. So you are that Supreme Lord upon whom these great yogis meditate. So they are basically glorifying Lord Krishna. The third line also, sorry, I should display this. Third line also, Sansara Kupa Patitottaranāvalambam, that you are the only avalambam, the only shelter of those who are patitotta, those who are patita, who have fallen. Uttarana, you are the deliverer, you are the one who will lift who has the capacity to lift them from this material world. Avalambam, to lift them up, to give them shelter from this samsara kupa, from this well of material existence. So samsara kupa patitottala ranavalambam. And the last line is very significant. Geham jusham api manasyudiyat sadanaha, that geham, but we are like those gopis are talking about themselves, that we are the ones who are like the samsara kupa. Not really, but in our household affairs. Geham means in the griha, in the household. Geham jusham, we are trapped in our household affairs. Geham jusham api manasya udiyat sadanaha, that may your lotus feet, that was mentioned in the first line, Padara Vindam, be always, sada, be always be present, be udiyat, or be always arisen in our mind, in our heart, in our manasya, even though we are engaged in household affairs. So that is the prayer of the gopis. So the gopis hear all this adhyatma shiksha from Krishna, and they accept that, yes, you are the Supreme Lord, and may your lotus feet always be present in our hearts. So this is the final verse of the gopis. And basically, they always want to meditate on Lord Krishna's feet and put them in their hearts. Now, this also has another meaning. When Lord Krishna used to come barefoot into the forest, and the gopis used to become very sad on seeing that Krishna is barefooted. Now, Krishna used to walk barefoot because he would want to bless the land of Vṛndāvana with his feet. If he would wear shoes or slippers, then his feet would not touch the land of Vṛndāvana. But Lord Krishna loves Vṛndāvana so much that he wants to touch the land of Vṛndāvana, and Vṛndāvana wants to be touched by the feet of Krishna. Therefore, there is no question of any shoes. But the gopis used to feel, oh, all the stones and pebbles might be hurting Lord Krishna's feet. And they would put Lord Krishna's feet on their body to give his feet comfort. So that is another meaning, that they are continuing to think that when will we get the opportunity, or may we get the opportunity in the same way to massage your feet, to comfort your feet, because your feet might have gotten hurt by the pebbles and stones in the forest, or the thorns, or whatever else, the dry grass, etc., in the forests of Vṛndāvana. So they want to comfort his feet. So it is not about their personal comfort. That is the main point. That, oh, we want to get the comfort in our heart. When your feet will be there in our heart, we will get, thandak padegi. We will get the cool touch in our hearts. That becomes like for my happiness or for my benefit. That is not the gopis' goal, their benefit. The goal of the gopis is to give, always give happiness to Krishna. So even when they are putting Krishna's feet on in their heart, the goal is to give a soothing feeling, a sense of comfort to Krishna's feet, not a sense of comfort to their own hearts. So the gopis are always thinking how we can serve Krishna, and never ever they think how we can derive any benefit or any pleasure from Krishna. That is never their goal. So that brings us to the end of this chapter. And now I wanted to share a few extra things. So, like I said, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, Lord Krishna never visits Vṛndāvana again. But there is one reference in the Srimad Bhagavatam, not in the 10th canto, but in canto 1, where it is clearly written that Lord Krishna visits Vṛndāvana. So let us see this. In Canto 1, there is chapter 11, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. So here what happens, this is after Mahabharat war. So that's why the timeline is important. Please pay attention. This meeting of Krishna in Kurukshetra happens before the Mahabharat war, and Canto 1 happens is basically after the Mahabharat war is over. One main pastime there is, what is his name? The son of Drona, Ashwathama.
Ashwatthama.
Yeah. So he is trying to kill Parikshit Maharaj, who is the last heir of the Pandavas. He's still in the womb of Uttara, who is the wife of Abhimanyu, who is the son of Arjun. So he's in the one of the descendants of the Pandavas, and he tries to kill Uttara, or tries to shoot a Brahmastra towards the womb of Uttara to kill the baby. And Lord Krishna saves the baby, who later on goes on to become Parikshit Maharaj. So that's one thing. Then the passing away of Bhishma Dev after the war and all that. So Lord Krishna has just participated in the war. He came from Dwarka and participated in the war and is now going back to Dwarka. So when he reaches Dwarka, that chapter 11, so chapter 10 is departure of Krishna from Hastinapur. So he's leaving Hastinapur, that is chapter 10, and then he's entering into Dwarka is chapter 11. All right. And when he enters into Dwarka, the Dwarkavasis are also missing Krishna. He has gone for such a long time to fight this war, Mahabharat war, and so on. So they are missing Krishna a lot. And they are now, these verses, they are now welcoming back Krishna to Dwarka. That is the context. And in the 9th verse, a very sweet thing happens. So maybe somebody can read this translation. Madhavi Manjari Mataji, can you read this? Are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji. O lotus-eyed Lord, whenever you go away to Mathura, Vrindavan, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like million of years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless, as if bereft of sun.
Very nice. So what is being said? So now the residents of Dwarka are just glorifying Krishna or expressing their separation from Krishna, that whenever you go to these various places, and one of the places mentioned here is what? Is Vrindavan, Mathura Vrindavan. And there is no more Mathura. If you remember from 10th canto, the whole of Mathura was shifted over to Dwarka because Jarasandh was constantly attacking Mathura. So he shifted all the Yadus from Mathura to Dwarka. So he is visiting Vrindavan. So the Dwarka Vasis are saying, whenever you go away, which means that Krishna went to Vrindavan multiple times from Dwarka. Because Dwarka Vasis are saying that each time you go, we feel separation from you. Your absence seems like millions of years. So that means that Krishna went to Vrindavan multiple times. And here is a direct proof from Srimad Bhagavatam itself that Krishna, it's not like Krishna never went to Vrindavan. He definitely went to Vrindavan many times. Now, the thing is, timeline wise, it may be possible that he went after this meeting of Kurukshetra. That because this statement is being spoken by the Dwaraka Vasis after the Mahabharat war. So, sometime before Mahabharat war, the Dwarka Vasis are being reminded, whenever you go to Vrindavan, we feel separation from you. So before Mahabharat war, at least timeline wise, he visited Vrindavan many times. This may be after Kurukshetra meeting. It may be before Kurukshetra meeting also. We don't know that. But the main point, at least for me, is that this verse shows that Krishna is not as heartless, as careless, as hard-hearted, or as shameless, as ungrateful as it seems, that he completely forgot the Vrajavasis. He didn't forget the Vrajavasis. Krishna loves his devotees as much as they love him, and he visited them many times. So this is a verse, it's one of the hidden verses. Just very cryptically, it is mentioned here, and you will see here, Kurun Madhun Vath Surhid Dridikshaya. So, to visit the Kurus, you used to go. So this is definitely before the Mahabharat war. All the Kurus were there, so he would go to Hastinapur. And Madhun means the land of Mathura Mandal, and which includes Vrindavan. So you used to go there. So this is a very nice verse that is present here. Okay, so that kind of concludes our 82nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, one more thing we can do is to go through. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures of that meeting place. So this, where is this? Yeah. Okay, let me share my screen. Do you see this? Mhm. One sec. I'm not able to see that. So, okay.
We can see Prabhu.
Okay. So you can see here Sri Radha Krishna Milan Mandir. This is the temple where the Milan happened. You can see here Sri Radha Krishna Milan Mandir. So this is the temple. Our Guru Maharaj is also visiting here along with Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj. And this is the tree, the Tamal tree. If you see here, it says in Hindi, यह अति प्राचीन वृक्ष श्री Radha Krishna ka Milan, supposed to be very ancient, is the meeting place of Sri Radha and Krishna in Kurukshetra. I just took many pictures. There are some dioramas and all that. Let me see what else I can share. Yeah. And yeah, let me also share the Shukratal pictures. Yeah, so this is a picture of Shukratal. So here there is this old temple, Prachin Mandir, it says. And you can see here Shukadev ji and Parikshit Maharaja are sitting. So this is Shukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. And there was a parrot sitting on this tree. You can see, you can see a little parrot here. So Shuka is parrot. So, we found a parrot sitting on the tree and everybody was clicking pictures of the parrot. Anyway, this is that tree under which Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in Shukratal. So this is the banyan tree. You can see like a zoomed out view. This person who is displaying stretching his hands, very nice person. He's resident of this place, of the family of the caretakers of the temple. So he was very nice person, spoke very nicely, and I had good conversation with him. I'm offering one lamp to the banyan tree. This is Radha Kripa Mataji, who lives in India, very sweet devotee. And yeah, so you can see a zoomed out version. So this tree is the main center point of this temple. And there are those small temples and deities around. So this is Shukratal. Yeah. Okay. So that's this. Yeah, one more thing that we can do right now, I don't think we have time, is that there is this a set of verses in the Padyavali about the meeting of Lord Krishna with the Gopis in Kurukshetra. So maybe we can go through those verses of the Padyavali at some time. Or do you think we can go through it quickly now, or should we set separate time for it? I don't know. I'm in two double minds.
We should go through it, Prabhuji. It would be nice to go through it now.
Yes, Prabhu, it is
Yes,
nice.
Prabhu, we can go through.
Yeah, but I think we want a detailed version also. So
Yeah.
you can go it quickly today, but you can take extra class for that as well.
Okay.
Also, Prabhuji, if you don't mind with that, clubbing also like Brihad Bhagavatam reading that you did the other day, that was also very beautiful from Canto 1.
Brihad Bhagavatam, or I mean,
Brihad Bhagavatamrit. Brihad.
that was the, yeah, that
The
was the,
Rohini Maya's, like her point of view
yeah.
in all of this. So if you could
But we
also
all,
do a detailed class, because that gave a very nice perspective of
Mhm.
their side of the story. So a detailed class on that also would be really nice.
About, but this Kurukshetra meeting is not there in Brihad Bhagavatamrit.
Yeah, but just their point of view of how much, like, you know, how you spoke about how much Sri Krishna misses them, but how much the Dwarkavasis, like when Rohini Maya sided with the Vrindavan Vasis and not the Dwarka Vasis, giving their
Mhm.
point of view, the Vrindavan Vasis' point of view with all of this. So a class on like the Vrindavan Vasis' point of view, where she's keeping that forward, would be really nice if you have the time.
Okay, I mean, do you have a specific section in mind, or
I think it was chapter 6, na Prabhuji? Canto 1, chapter 6 for that one.
but that we covered already.
But there's
So
no
which,
recording of it, Prabhuji.
no, wait
No,
a
there
minute.
is? Is there a
Yeah,
recording of it?
yeah. I mean, that was the thing that we covered. The recording that was missed was one of these verses, 40 to 40.
Oh, okay. If there's a
In the
recording, then I'll just
yeah,
rewatch that.
in the previous class, we discussed the sort of the mood where Mother Devaki is kind of indicating that, my son versus your son, kind of.
Right. Yeah.
And that is where I brought out, why is Mother Rohini kind of sitting quietly? I think
Right.
that was recorded.
Okay. If it was recorded, then I'll just rewatch that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
my bad.
I'm sure you have watched it multiple times already.
I would have remembered if I watched it multiple times, but yeah, my bad. I was just, because I remember that being like one of the most beautiful uh, things I have read in I don't know how many lifetimes, but yeah, so very nice that was.
Hmm. I can't. Do you remember which? Because the version of the PDF that I have with me doesn't have the verse numbers. Yeah, I should have
From
prepared better.
Padyavali, I think it's 364 onwards.
364?
One second, let me check, Prabhuji. One second.
And this PDF that I have doesn't have verse numbers. Sorry, it's taking this extra time, but yeah, maybe we can do it at a later time. I am feeling a little.
Prabhuji, I have a PDF of Padyavali which Shamalila Mataji sent me. It has the verse number. You want me to send it on WhatsApp to you?
Is it the one by? I want to show the Veda-based version. I know which version is it. If it is the one by Narayan Maharaj.
It is the one by Narayan Maharaj,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have nothing against Narayan Maharaj. He's a very, very advanced devotee, but I want, for better or worse, I want to use the Veda-based version, not kind of go outside of the ISKCON version. Especially, I know this is getting recorded, even what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my apprehension. I want to keep it. Maybe we can just use that for today. Yeah, why not? Okay. I mean, I have that one. I was just thinking that maybe we can show the Veda-based one. But it's okay. With this discussion, I think it's clear that I'm not trying to. That's the one that we can find right now. So we'll just use that, and that happens to have the verse numbers. Okay. So for that reason and that reason alone, we will use this version of from Narayan Maharaj. Okay, so which page is it? Do you know? I know it was
1
somewhere
second,
around
Prabhuji. I'm just looking at this thing.
379, 380 somewhere.
राधा सुपर पेज 191 से शुरू हो रहा है प्रभु जी.
What is the verse number?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just scrolling to page. It's the verse number is 383.
That sounds more like it.
This is where her response starts from.
Yeah. Okay. One second. Yeah. 383. Very good. Wait. Where did this go? Okay. Now you see this? Is it
Yes,
visible?
Prabhuji.
Ji,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Okay. Very good. So these verses are very sweet, but we will just go with the English in interest of time. Like you said, if there is opportunity, we will just do these verses again with proper meter and recitation and all that. Okay. Please forgive the sort of the quick and dirty version, so to say. So this is Kurukshetre Shri Vrindavaneshwari Shri Vrindavan Adhishwari Cheshtitam. So she is the Vrindavana Adhishwari. So Vrindavan Adhishwari, the behavior or Shri Vrindavaneshwari's behavior at Kurukshetra. So Vrindavan Ishwari, Srimati Radharani, is the goddess or the queen of Vrindavan. And her Cheshtitam means her activity or her behavior, it is written at Kurukshetra. So verse 383. Okay, we can have devotees read. I will say something on the verse and we will move on. So this is the meeting of Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani at Kurukshetra. And her mood is being shown by Sri Rupa Goswami's collection of these verses. Some verses in the Padyavali are by Rupa Goswami, and some he has taken from other sources, and he has mentioned those sources. So this verse specifically is by somebody by the name Sri Hara, and it has been included by Rupa Goswami in Padyavali. Okay, can someone read? Madhvi Manjari Mataji, go ahead.
Closing her right eye, Radha joyfully gazed upon Sri Krishna with her left eye, which trembled like a blossoming red lotus jostled by a darting fish.
So she's basically trembling, and she's which trembled like a blossoming red lotus jostled by a darting fish. So like a trembled, a lotus has been hit by a fish, and the lotus is now trembling. So like that, she cannot keep her composure properly on seeing Sri Krishna. So that is what is being mentioned here. Then next verse 384. All these verses are in very beautiful meter. I wish we could sing them. I need some preparation to write down which meter it is and to practice a little bit to recite it properly. I'm doing this impromptu right now. When we were sitting in Kurukshetra at that place under that tree, we recited all these, me and my wife and some other devotees who were present, we recited all these verses. So anyway, so let us read this one. Shalu Mataji, go ahead. Or who said?
I read what, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
As soon as she met with Krishna, her eyes overflowed with tears of bliss, and she could barely see him. She began trembling, thus preventing her arms from wrapping around her dearmost beloved's neck. Being overwhelmed with prema, She was unable to speak, and her heart was agitated. The truth is that finally seeing her lover again after such a long time, their meeting was just like another separation. Meeting is such sweet sorrow. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So she began trembling. Her eyes were overflowing with tears of bliss. And because of that, she could barely see him. The tears were there, and then, the vision is getting cloudy. And she was unable to speak. Her voice was also trembling because of her, emotions, kind of huge waves of emotions in her heart. And the sweet thing that I at least, connected with is that after finally seeing her lover after such a long time, their meeting was just like another separation. Means that, when the meeting happens, then now the countdown begins, because now you're going to get separated. So even when you are with each other, you are thinking that, oh, now anytime it will be over. So even you cannot fully enjoy the meeting time, because you know that it is short-lived. And I have seen this, with somebody you love and you meet, but you have this in the back of your mind that this is not going to last for a very long time. This meeting is short-lived. And that thought kind of saps the sweetness of the little bit of the moment that, the separation is coming. So that's why it is said their meeting was just like another separation. Meeting is such sweet sorrow. So it is a mixed sweet sorrow. Okay. These are some more very sweet verses. Srimati Radharani's reply to Krishna's attempt to console her in a solitary place. So this is referring to Srimad Bhagavatam, and where Krishna was trying to console. And we see from Sri Rupa Goswami some more aspects of Krishna's trying to console Srimati Radharani. So could someone read this verse?
I can read it.
Yes.
So, why are you falling at my feet, feeling so dejected? The master is always independent. Hence, if he is attached to someone else for some time, what fault is there on his part? I am the sinner, for I remained alive even in your absence. Should not the wife always consider the husband to be her very life and soul? I am the one who should be asking for forgiveness.
So who is saying this, Krishna or Srimati Radharani?
Radharani is saying this.
Yes, Radharani is saying this, because it says at the top, Radharani's reply. And from the verse also, we will see it is kind of evident. And what is she saying in the beginning? Why are you falling at my feet? Which means Krishna is falling at the feet of Srimati Radharani. Do you see that? Now, this is not mentioned in Bhagavatam because it is very deep and very esoteric to be mentioned in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is read by many, many people. And Shukadeva Goswami concealed this portion that Krishna fell at the feet of Srimati Radharani. And Radharani was so taken aback. Why are you falling at my feet? And you can see here the mood of Radharani, that she's not mad at Krishna. She is not angry at him. Her mood is very sweet. She's saying that I am the sinner, for I remained alive even in your absence. If anybody is to blame, it is me, because I didn't die in your separation. How could I be alive? It means I love my life more than I love you. That's why I stayed alive. Otherwise, I should have committed suicide. So she's saying, I don't love you as much you think. I love my own life more, and I am such a sinner. The reality, however, is that Srimati Radharani could have easily taken away her life in separation, but she continued to live because she had the hope that she will see Krishna one day. And that hope of seeing Krishna one day is what kept her alive. So the gopis were almost as good as dead, it is mentioned. They were almost like walking dead, except the only thing that was keeping them alive was that slight hope of meeting Sri Krishna. So that is the thing that is being mentioned here. And that's why she says, I am the one who should be asking for forgiveness, that I don't love you enough. Otherwise, I would have died. I should have died by now. How come I stayed alive? Now, this verse is being quoted by Sri Rupa Goswami. It says, as you can see, author unknown. So it is not composed by him, and somebody else has composed. So could someone read this?
That same handsome fellow who stole my heart when I was young is now my husband and is present with me. The same lovely nights of Chaitra month, the same fragrance of the malati flowers, the same cool, gentle breezes flowing from the aromatic kadamba trees, all are present. And I'm also the same person, but my mind is running back to the bank of the Reva under the Vetasi tree where we enjoyed our first rendezvous.
Very nice. So this verse basically is like a response. Lord Krishna is saying, why don't you also come to Dwarka with me? Then we can be together. Okay. Isn't that a simple solution? Because Srimati Radharani is feeling this separation from Krishna. And she's saying that, this separation or this meeting is also like a separation because it's such a short duration. But then Krishna says, okay, come with me to Dwarka. I now live in Dwarka and you can also come along. She's saying that, no, I want you in Vṛndāvana. I want that whole setting. Now, this is a very deep point. One can say, yeah, why not? If you want Krishna, then just you move to Dwarka. Why Krishna should move to Vṛndāvana? But Srimati Radharani loves the Vraj Krishna, not the Dwarka Krishna. In her heart, only Vraj Krishna is residing. Now, this is a deep aspect. If you and I were there, we would say, yeah, I like my friend, or if my husband has moved to a different city, why is the attachment to the city? I can move to whichever city I want, or whichever needed to be with him or her. But the whole aspect is that the love of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani is that whole mood, everything is one single package, and that happens in Vṛndāvana. So this is what is being shown here, that she wants Krishna in Vṛndāvana. Okay, last verse. And this is continuing the same mood. Somebody? Otherwise, default Shamlila Mataji, you can continue.
Oh dear, my dear Sakhi, here at Kurukshetra, we are meeting with our most treasured friend Krishna. I am the same Radha, and our meeting here now is very pleasant. But I am not feeling the same joy that I had in the woods on the bank of Yamuna. My mind is running there, wanting to hear the sound of his flute playing the fifth note.
Very nice. So here you can see the mood of Srimati Radharani. It's not that she will feel the same happiness in Dwarka. She's saying that I am the same Radha, he is the same Krishna, but what is missing is Vṛndāvana. I am not feeling the same joy I had in the woods on the bank of Yamuna. My mind is running there, wanting to hear the sound of his sweet flute playing the fifth note. So Vraj Krishna is the object of love of all the gopis. And Vraj Krishna is only in Vraj. Even Krishna outside Vraj is not the same. Okay. So that is the mood being brought out, the significance of Vraj Krishna. So again, this focus on Vraj Krishna is a very important aspect of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, like we discussed earlier a little bit. And more of it comes out in Bhakti Rasamrit, Sri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That's why studying all these scriptures is so important. The Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu being sort of, probably I can say it's the main backbone of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, of Krishna Bhakti. The main backbone of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, of course, are the 6 Sandarbhas by Sri Jiva Goswami. But they are also deriving from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Sri Rupa Goswami. Okay, we have done a long class today, almost 2 hours. So we will stop here. Any discussion points, comments, corrections, questions? All good? Okay. Thank you then. Have a wonderful Kartik month. Please recite Damodar Ashtakam every day. Please offer ghee lamp to Lord Krishna every day. And I don't know where we will be next weekend. What will be the schedule of classes? I will announce on the group. You can, we'll see. So yeah, thank you so much. All glories to Kartik month. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Param
Krishna.
Guruma Prabhu ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna,
Thank you so much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Thank you
Krishna
so
Prabhuji,
much,
thank you.
Prabhuji. Such a
Hare
beautiful
Krishna.
class. Thank you for taking the time out so early in the morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Hare.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. All glories
Thank
to
you,
Srila.
Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. It
Krishna.
was a
Thank you so
wonderful.
much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.